My name is Uche Maple, and I'm going to be your trainer for today. Today is going to be a little bit different. If you have been part of the video series that I have been dropping, it's really been more, it is engaging where I have a PowerPoint slide deck and I'm walking through it. But today I really want this to be more personable where I'm having a conversation with you. I will have a couple of things where I am showing the slides that just so that you're able to take notes. But today, primarily, I really want to make sure that you are getting the information you need and that I'm conveying in a way that you're able to take it and transform and the transformation happening. That makes sense? That makes sense, everyone? Yes. So I'm excited. Now, first and foremost, today is going to be it's going to be a mini training. But at the end of this, what I want you to know is that we are having a 90-minute training session where it is going to be live on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile page. Yes, and that is happening June 18th, 2025 from 11:30 p.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. It is going to be a live webinar training. It's going to be a live training. So bring your lunch, bring your notes, and what I want you to do is to make sure that you even have your LinkedIn profile ready so that we can walk through this so that you can get the info. So that really you have a training, you have a LinkedIn profile that will be ready to hit the streets when we are done. How does that sound? So again, that's June 18th at 11:30. You will be receiving, you will have to sign up, you will get notifications. And if you don't have access to it, after this, our information will be in the comments field where you can definitely email us so that you can have this. And as always, please share this. I always say that none of us are gatekeepers, but together we can all help each other out together so that we can be proficient and everyone can find the job that they're looking for. Does that make sense? Yes, yes. All right. So I always say so, but I'm excited. And let's get this ball on the road. Yes. All right. So I'm going to share my slide so that you'll have that information. Yep. So we're going to go to the beginning. All right. So today's training is, again, how to find a job in 2025, what to say, how to show up, and what to look for. And make sure you have your notes and pens because it's going to be a lot of great information. Quick training, but very valuable so that no other recruiter hiring manager is going to scroll past your profile in anything that you do. I don't care if that's a profile online that you submit to the website or your LinkedIn profile or whatever other online platform tool that you're doing. Now, if you're like, well, Uche, am I in the right place? Well, this training, this is how you know. This training is if you've been recently laid off. This training is even for recent graduates where you can't find a job right now. This training is for you. You've applied to multiple jobs and no one has returned your call. You've been ghosted, which is insane. Let me just say that. You signed up for the interview and no one is showing up. You're stuck. You're trying to figure out, Uche, what do I do next? But you're ready to pivot, but you're not sure where to start or how to stand out. And this training is going to go through that. Now, I want to say this. My promise to you today, okay? My promise to you today is really simple. It's simple. It's so that it's my promise to you today is simple. Is that you'll leave this session with a clear understanding of how to position yourself so the employers see your value, you can remember your name, how they can remember your name, and they want to know more, even in today's competitive market. So when they see your name and when they see your profile or when your name shows up, they're going to remember this because you stand out. You stood out. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Uche Anye Maple. I'm an engineering executive. I have been an entrepreneur. I have been in the aerospace and defense industry for the last 20 something years. Recently turned entrepreneur where I now have my own company where I do a lot of professional development and training, which includes helping people find jobs. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn and always you can email me. That makes sense? All right. So I really want to make sure again, this is going to be a great session, but I also want you to know that, as always, we know that everything won't be solved in a mere 30 minutes. and that taking a job, just like you have been applying for jobs, even if you've been doing for longer than 30 days, you understand that this is not something that happens overnight, but it takes time. But we do know that the more you continue to do this, the better outcome. Now, why isn't the old way working anymore? Well, because people are providing advice back in 2019. That's why. And what has happened since 2019? The pandemic, the quietly quitting, as they say, the remote work, hybrid work. So people are still giving you outdated advice. You're applying to 100 roles with 1 to 2 callbacks, really 0 callbacks. People are ghosting you, no responses. Yeah. The applicant systems is broken where now when you get when you are doing that interview, they have an AI bot interviewing you as the first line of defense. And it is ridiculous because they're trying it out. And the reality is that you're not being seen. You're just not being seen. This actually what's happening now reminds me of what happened 15 years ago when I was, I had gotten laid off. I actually got laid off while I was on maternity leave. This was the time where they had a new administration going into the office, and we were just budget heavy. They call it the Great Recession, where, the housing market was in crumbles. Their jobs were being laid off. It was insane. If you see this right here, I'm going to show this stat here. In 2019, this is saying how many jobs are being lost every month. You see that? 8,000, 7,000. It was insane. And yeah, I was one of those whose job had got lost. And I talk about where I had just had my second child. I was on maternity leave, and it was pretty bad. It was horrible. I was trying to come back into work, and my manager said, "Hey, do you not know what's happening?" And of course, I did not, right? Because I'm a new mom and I'm taking care of my son. And he said, "They are laying off crazy. It's crazy out here." He said, "Uche, it's so crazy that the job we had for you, if you had came back sooner, we had to give it to your old section manager." I was like, "What the heck is going on?" And they put me on furlough. And furlough means that you have to wait until we let you go. But because I had a child, and let me say this, do not be afraid to speak out on what you want and what you need in the moment. And because I had just had my child, my husband was still working. I requested to the vice president of HR that, yes, I'm on furlough, but I need you to provide me a grace. That's not what it's called, but to give me a waiver that I can actually go find a job because I just had a child. And they did do that. So within that time frame, there are 3 things that I had to do. 1, I had to be flexible, I had to be adaptable, and I had to be intentional. And I didn't do this in a bucket. I did this with my husband. In terms of flexibility, we decided if we needed to relocate, what are 5 states we wouldn't mind relocating to? So we were able to identify that. Adaptability, I had to accept this is what's happening right now. But Uche, just because this is what's happening doesn't mean this has to be your reality, right? So adaptability meant what strategic job fairs that for companies that you wouldn't mind working for that had companies in the state that you had already identified. What are those companies? And those are the companies that I applied to. And I went to those job fairs, even on my own dime at times, where it was convenient. And intentionality meant there was one job that I applied for over and over again. One title, the responsibilities did not change because it was the same. And that was a job that I applied for and I targeted, which is what helped us to pivot into the next, I want to say, decade that has changed our lives forever. Because of that, I was able to find a job as a contractor. And one of the roles that we talked about was, hey, you're going to be a contractor. This company gave me an opportunity where I came on as a contractor for a major company. And I relocated. It was one of those states where it was a contracting gig for 6 months. I relocated there. And let me say this is how good God works. God not only, I didn't have to wait 6 months. I only did 3 months and they were like, we're going to give you full-time employment. God allowed them to say, hey, we want to bring your husband on too. And they gave my husband a job too. And we relocated our entire family there. So don't tell me that prayer doesn't work. But we did the work as well. So if you're having challenges, sometimes it's we have to remember that we got to go back to the basics, and we have to do things that we don't want to do in order to get where we want to be. And being humble in that process, and not so rigid, and not so, where you're not flexible or capable, and not even where someone can offer you advice because you feel like you know it all, which is what hinders us. It's the ability to adjust. And I'm not trying to preach, but this out of that, this is what came from that. And ever since then, it has been a tremendous blessing. The fact that me and my husband were able to shift in that way. And now 15 years later, one of the great things I was able to retire and not have to work up until I was 65, but that's a different conversation. Right. So, but that's what happened. And as a result of that, that shifted in general on how, when I would coach and mentor students, or new hires, and then or even professionals, on how you need to show up and be yourself in a sea of other people looking for a job. Because reality one is that it's not about doing more. It's not about applying for more. And then, I hear people saying, I couldn't even get a job at the fast food restaurant. Why are you applying there? Why are you applying to a fast food restaurant when they're only requiring a high school diploma and you put on there that you have a degree? It doesn't make any sense. Because from their standpoint, they're wondering, are you going to stay here? Are you going to make the investment in here? It doesn't make any sense, right? So it has to be in alignment. Because the truth is, it's not about, it's about showing up as a solution versus a seeker. The way that we are looking to solve, the way that you have to now look when you're looking for a job, is not that, I have a resume and I'm just trying to find something. You now have to demonstrate how you're bringing value. If you were to go, I have different sessions and trainings on how you provide value on here. Go back to those links so that you can go and take a look at it. But it demonstrates how you have value. What can you do to show that you have value? Because everyone is looking for someone to be the solution, not the problem solver, and not the seeker. And then shift from job chase to the problem solver. Hello. You're not just chasing for any job. You're solving the problem. So you have to begin to see yourself from an applicant to an asset. Because once you start seeing yourself that way, they will begin to see you. You are awesome. You are phenomenally made. And you have value to bring to every company. You just need to show people that you have that. Yes, yes? Yes, yes. And the way that I'm able to do this is by showing and demonstrating this framework, the Align framework, where we're able to assess your direction. We level up your positioning. We help you initiate strategic connections, generate activity that attracts the right people, and then how to navigate the mindset shifts. Because you are having to change how you see yourself, right? But what we're going to focus on today is how to level up your positions. This is going to be today's mini deep dive. What does that look like? How can we do this? But you know what? You are in the right place at the right time with the right people. And that's what I love. You don't have to wonder anymore. You don't have to feel like you're alone anymore, because now you are in a community of people who has the same objective as you. And now we're going to talk about how you level up your positioning in today's market so that you can show out, so that you can be seen, so that you know how to bring your value. Yes, yes? Come on now. Come on. So the first thing is that I love is say what makes you valuable. When people, how are you transforming when you are in that job? How did you transform that job? Something that made you awesome. Because I know you do a lot of things, but how are you articulating what makes you awesome? What makes you amazing? Where you're like, yes, I do this. I don't care if you're an administrator. I don't care if you're doing configuration management. I don't care if you're doing IT. I don't care what it is. You have something that makes you valuable, because if you didn't, you wouldn't have been there in the first place. I don't care if they laid you off. People get laid off all the time, and they are the best at what they do. But life just sucks. So you want to use language that mirrors what your future employer values. At the time when, I never forget this, When I was looking for a job, man, this is insane. When I was looking for a job, it's bringing back memories. When I was looking for a job, I was looking for a systems engineering role. And they were looking for someone who can do requirements. So those of you who are on here who knows about engineer or business analyst for requirements, you know what I'm talking about. But they were looking for someone who can develop those requirements, validate those requirements in using this tool. And I remember I was interviewing with this company, baby, and it was two people, and I'm getting excited because I remember this. I said, I can dissect, chop up any requirements that you have. I am the best at what I do, and I'm going to be the only one you can find that can do it the way that you want it to be done in a time frame you want it. They were so quiet. I knew that I was the best at what I did. What happens is that when you get let go, there it hits your pride. It does. It messes up with your psyche. And then you begin to question everything. But you are wonderfully made. You were not designed to be against yourself. And when you are talking, articulating, even in your resume, your LinkedIn profile, you want to make sure that you have outcome-driven bullets that impact metrics. So what does that mean? You know, you could simply just say results blank. Impact metrics is normally numbers, right? Delivered project within you could say something like, let's say it's a project delivered training module 2 months ahead of schedule with X amount of percent of defects, right? In case there's defects in your environment, in your community or industry, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. So you want to be able to do that. I think oftentimes we are afraid because we don't know how to quantify and qualify what we do, but that's what we do here. That's one of the advantages of, when my clients come and work with me, we're able to quantify what they do so that not only is it on paper, they're able to articulate it. And when you can quantify your results, ooh, I'm getting the shivers right now. People look at you very differently. They're like, okay. And then they start smiling. They're like, okay, yeah, I like that. And you can tell the vibe because you're like, I got this. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. So the second thing on how you can level up is how you're showing up matters. When I'm looking at not just your resume, because I'm going to assume that your resume, when they look at it, they have the heading, they have your name, how to contact you, and then it shows and demonstrates what you're looking for. That's what I'm going to assume. On LinkedIn, it matters. Does your job presence match the job you want? Do you know how many times I have seen people say, I'm looking for a project manager role, but it doesn't match what their LinkedIn profile is? It has to match. It has to be consistent. You know why? For credibility. You have to now look at yourself as a person. When you're looking for a job, you're not the consumer. They're the consumer. You want them to buy you, right? You want them to hire you. And we know that when we are trying to purchase something, we look for credibility, whether it's reviews, what someone says, or that we go to different sites to make sure that's the correct product, that is consistent. They're looking for consistency. So are you telling the same story everywhere you go? Are you showing up everywhere you go the same? Your presence matters more than your perfection. Your presence matters more than perfection. Because when you are trying to be perfect, you don't get anything out. Yes. And then first impressions online. Your first impressions now happen online. People are looking to see what you do. So let me go back. I forgot to ask, what is the greatest result you've helped deliver? Write that down. Because it gets your energy and your brain formulating. Again, if you don't know how to articulate it, you have AI tools. Let me just put this declaration up top. You have AI tools that can help you find language on what to use and what to say. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, if a recruiter came to your LinkedIn profile, what would it tell them in 6 seconds or less? Will it tell them that you're wonderfully amazing? Will it tell them that you're the right person they need to look for? Or will it tell them that this person here, it doesn't say anything about them? Or you're using it as a social media platform and you're talking about things that has no relevance to the job that you're seeking. You have every opportunity to demonstrate that you are who you are and the value you bring. Take advantage of all of that. I had actually got when I first started using LinkedIn, I had did a speaking engagement with for young teens, and I got my first paid speaking gig from there. So you think that people are not paying attention, but they are. It just said, how are you standing out? And the third way on how to level up is your strategy is your secret weapon, baby. I'm telling you, it's your secret weapon. It's not, my story that I said before, right? We were very strategic in how we moved. It's not about getting in all the rooms. You know how people like, you see people all the time, it's like, they're going to this event, they're going to this event, but they're not making any movement. They're being a socialite, taking pictures. You don't need to get in all the rooms. You just need to get in the right one. And you need to make sure, and I'm going to even say that the right person is in the room. You want to have targeted applications. That is greater than mass. Targeted applications is greater than mass. Your strategy saves you time, energy, and self-worth. And you know why I say self-worth? Because your confidence diminishes. The reality is every time you hear no, your confidence diminishes. That's why you need to hear yes. I don't care, yes in something. Yes, I'm going to the gym today. Yes, I look good in this outfit. Yes, you have a beautiful smile. Yes, you got to be able to counterbalance that. That makes sense? Position yourself to be chosen because you're phenomenal. So I did 3 things, gave you 3 information. So here's the mini challenge. We're going to, let's say you're about to give up, but you came to this training today and you're like, I'm going to move forward. Okay. So what I want you to do is to write one sentence that reflects your personal value, your professional value. Why should they hire you? What transformation have you done? Go back and, if you can't remember, go back and listen to the training. Write it down. Then one change you're going to make to your LinkedIn profile this week. I don't care if it's the headline or the picture so that people can see you. You're amazing, beautiful, handsome, great self. And then I want you to connect and reach out to one hiring manager connection. Just one. Just one. Yes, I know. Uche, I'm uncomfortable. It's okay. When this job market here, really in anything in life that you want, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. There is something powerful about leaning into the power that has been given to you. All of the negative talk that you receive it's not something that is normal. As a matter of fact, it's so abnormal, which is why you have a hard time accepting it. But you have everything you need to get past just this moment, this hiccup in time. So don't let what you hear on social media affect you. Don't allow those thoughts to enter your mind that says that, oh my gosh, this has been going on for this long. Yes, but it ends today. Position yourself for success every morning, whatever that looks like for you. But you have to begin to talk to yourself in a way that you are going to push and persevere and have resilience through this. You can't do it alone. Just be honest with you. For me, God is my Lord and Savior. I have to lean on. I have to ask him constantly to give me strength so that I can persevere in this season. In this season where everything looks like it's going crazy, but I know he got my back. So I start off every morning with gratitude, every morning with praise, majority of the time, every morning with worship, every morning with prayer. And to be honest with you, when I was looking for a job then, that's exactly what I did. I didn't do it every morning, but his presence was omniscient in my life. So what is your strategy every morning when you get up so that you are not leaning on your own understanding, on your own strength. Because when we lean on our own selves, right, we get tired. Our flesh is weak. So there's a greater power that we have to lean on so that we can move, we can go through. All right, so I'm done, I'm done with that. um, but I want you to try this mini challenge today to give yourself some strength so that you can push forward tomorrow. Now, with that being said, I want you to come back and join me on this Wednesday, where you go from invisible to interview. It is a LinkedIn career strategy session for 90 minutes where we're going to be going through breakdown on how to create your LinkedIn presence. Now, we're going to be talking about, how to do your heading. I'll be offering some media templates for you to use. I'll also be talking about, your profile picture, how you need to get that situated. What does that look like? And your about me section, right? And then from there, we'll go through certain things that you need to have redone. Well, those are the main things, to be honest. It is your headline, is your profile picture, and your about me section. Those are the three areas of focus that we'll be walking through to make sure that when people come to your profile page and your headline, of course, those 4 things, what are you standing out in a way so they know that that's the person I want? That's the person I'm looking for. Does that make sense? All right. The link is in chat. You'll see it in chat. Make sure you sign up. I look forward to seeing you. I cannot wait to see you on Wednesday. We're going to have an amazing time. And, here are the final thoughts. The job is not the reward you are. Now let's make sure the world sees it. And as a gift, just by attending today's session, scan that code so that you can get the LinkedIn playbook. It walks you through step by step. As a matter of fact, that is going to be the baseline what we use on Wednesday so that you'll have that in hand on how, you need to make the changes. All right. Everyone, thank you for joining me today. I'm just so excited that you're here. I'm excited that you decided to invest in yourself and take time today out of your busy schedule, because looking for a job is busy, right? But really to take time today so that you can focus and get strategy that's going to take you to the next level. So the next time people ask you, how are you doing? You're like, oh, I found me a job. Well, how'd you do that? Well, this person named Uche, her process works. And all you have to do is just follow it. That's it. All right. I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Have a blessed Monday. Yep, it's Monday. And above all, you have value. You always did. No one may see it now because it's just so many applicants, but don't give up, because if you do give up or if you stop, that's a guaranteed no. And I always say this, all you need is one yes. Talk to you soon. See you soon. Bye.